Hello, welcome back to the Hyperthetical podcast, episode 6. Wow, 6 episodes.
6?
Is it 6?
Have I
What crack are
miscounted?
you? What have you been
What on
smoking?
earth?
That's a dreadful start. That's a dreadful start. Leave it in, but it's funny.
Hello, welcome back to the Hyperthetical podcast where we answer the questions that you never wanted answered. This is episode 5, and we're talking about aliens. Joining me today are my co-hosts, Diesel
Hello.
and Chris.
Right, user.
Firstly, let's get everyone's initial take on this. I'm against. I don't believe in aliens.
You're against
at all.
because you're a creationist.
Yes.
Wait, can you be specific? So you don't believe aliens visit the Earth, or you
I
categorically
don't believe
in
that aliens exist categorically.
Okay. What about you, Luke?
I mean, I personally believe that. I mean, let's be honest. Almost certainly,
Okay.
they may be in a much less advanced life form than us. Like it might just be
like a micro.
microscopic cells on the
Okay.
surface of a planet. But
Yeah.
I think almost certainly.
Yeah. See, I'm leaning that way, but I'm. We don't know the full picture, so I'm indifferent. I'm a little bit indifferent, so I'll be in the middle, guys.
Okay,
I'll be-
fair enough. I want to clarify. I class aliens as little green men.
Okay.
Sentient life.
That's a bit. That's a
Yeah.
little bit. That's a little bit.
I can
traditional.
buy into there being species on other planets.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
we don't
not
want to sound
intelligent.
space phobic.
There are no
Yeah.
there are no intelligent beings out there. Is what I'm referring to.
To all my blogs listening to this podcast,
Yeah.
just don't listen to Blant.
All my
Don't listen
Klingons.
to Blanta.
Yeah. So I don't know. There could be bacteria. There's more than likely bacteria. I'm sure. There's a lot of planets out there. There's a fair few planets. I've played No Man's Sky.
I
Right,
played
a lot
No
of
Man's Sky recently.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
I can confirm there are quite a few planets.
There's at least 2.
Yeah, at least. I think there could be fish. Could be fish life.
Fish planet, bro. Trout planet. That would go so
Yes.
hard. Oh
As
my
we all
God,
know, the
Trout
dolphins
planet.
left the Earth when it was destroyed the first time. So they probably inhabited other parts of the galaxy now. That's a Hitchhiker's Guide reference. I don't know if anyone's going to get that.
42.
Rick and Morty reference.
42.
There's been quite a lot of UFOs recently. Obviously, UFOs aren't a new thing, but they are newly becoming televised. They were never really acknowledged before, and now they are starting to be. It started in 2020 when the US government, released videos of an unidentified object that F-18 fighters had encountered off the coast of America. This object was the shape of a tic-tac, and it could move at instant speed. We don't actually know how fast it was. There's been many theories about it. Could be a weather balloon with a parallax effect. A parallax effect is when if you focus on an object and you move past it, the background will move faster than the object, giving it the illusion of speed. It could also be some sort of unidentified craft from another country, or it could be aliens.
Or it could be the paper aeroplane that I threw out the window one time
Oh,
and never saw again.
Why'd you do that, man? There's always been lights in the sky. There's always been obscure, things, conspiracy theories about it. We're going to touch on conspiracy theories in another episode. The next episode is all going to be about conspiracies and just what we believe, what we think is fake, what we can't stand. Just general conspiracies. It'll be a fun one. But this one's about aliens specifically because recently we've had a lot of them. We've had 3, not including Chinese surveillance balloons that were flying over America. They were shot down. And then 3 more unidentified objects were sighted. One over Alaska, one over Canada, and I don't remember where the last one was. But yeah, and these objects have yet to be identified. They were shot down, and the recovery efforts are ongoing to try and piece together what it was.
Oh no! It was described as a house with lots of balloons attached to it.
Well, well, the thing is, I think it was 20. Yeah, you're right. 2020. The U.S. Congress passed a bill. Like they had a bill specifically. It was the Director of National Intelligence talking about defense in terms of UFOs, and they spent $66 million on studying this. So that's how serious they're taking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's alarming for any nation when objects are flying over their airspace. So
Yeah.
obviously they're going to have more investment in it. So these objects, one of them was described as an octagonal shape, like a dodecahedron, with loads of strings attached to it, and it had no obvious method of propulsion.
Wait, can you repeat that? What's a hedron?
A dodecahedron. It's like a
dodecahedron.
20-sided shape. Like it was described as like
Right.
as a shape with like multiple sides, like a
Okay.
hexagon.
Yeah,
And
it's a 12-sided shape.
Yeah.
I'll send a picture of it so
Yeah,
you can
and it
put
had
it up
loads
on
of
screen.
strings and no obvious. To me, that sounds like a balloon. I don't know. It sounds like an inflatable like D&D dice that got lost at a convention, and the U.S. government shot it down so rudely. Oh, okay. So, Lake
Huron, isn't it?
Huron. It presented as an octagonal structure with strings hanging off it, but no discernible payload. An F-16 shot it down with a Sidewinder missile. Lake Yukon in
Yeah.
Canada. It looked similar to the one that was shot down off the South Carolina coast, and it was smaller in size and cylindrical. Again, shot down by a Sidewinder missile. Alaskan coast. It was the size of a car, apparently. Not similar
Ooh.
in size to the high altitude surveillance balloon, the Chinese one that they encountered
Like
on the
a
previous
three-story
weekends.
building.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty big. And again, shot down with a Sidewinder missile. So those were the three that were shot down, and then there's the Chinese spy balloon. So what do we think? Are they all spy balloons?
I think that's unlikely. 'Cause
Really?
Well,
What else?
A spy
Well,
balloon has to be
firstly,
a certain size for one.
do you even think it was a spy balloon? I know it was from China, and I know they
Well,
said it was a weather balloon.
They said it was a
but-
civilian balloon.
Someone pointed out, interestingly, do you remember the Nord Stream for the gas pipeline?
The gas that was sabotaged, the gas
So-
pipeline, yeah.
During this whole spy balloon incident, there was a leak from the CIA that the credible source was that the CIA were involved, right?
Oh, yeah.
At the same time, these events will happen and they take over the news. So there is a conspiracy actually that this is also being supplanted. So that's an interesting
Potentially,
thought.
it could
Yeah.
be, I mean, it's a conspiracy, yeah, that it's causing a media blackout, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe it could be a conspiracy. I mean, currently there's a train crash in
In
Ohio
Ohio, yeah.
that is causing massive
Yeah,
ecological
The aliens
problems.
did that as well. I reckon that was their testing site.
You reckon?
That's their Area 52. I reckon.
52.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they stormed Area 51?
I don't. Did they actually? Didn't they just wait outside?
They turned up for it, but like only like a couple of hundred people, and then the U.S. government were like, "Yeah, we're gonna shoot you," and then they all left.
Yeah.
No,
was pretty
they showed
tragic.
up. I saw some pictures of like people taking pictures with the guards and like being
Yeah.
friendly. But yeah, no, they never went inside.
They wanted to rescue the aliens.
Mm.
It was in 2019. Oh my god!
Did you see the meetup of the Joshes? I think it was like
Yeah,
last year
yeah,
or the year
yeah.
before.
That was quite funny.
That was very alien
That was
behaviour.
sick.
Okay, so more than 2 million people signed up to go raid Area 51. The actual turnout was about 6,000. That's not bad.
Oh,
You could storm
that's really good.
6,000. You'll be shot, but you could try.
Use like 99% of
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah, so in Ohio at the moment, there's a massive ecological disaster where a train full of vinyl chloride has crashed, and the US government decided, well, it might blow up, so we're going to set fire to it.
Which is the stupidest decision they could have made.
So it's releasing chlorine into the air, which binds with molecules and creates, very dangerous chemicals, mainly carcinogenic because it's a plastic. And apparently animals are just falling over dead in the local area. People are getting headaches, pain in their lungs and stuff. Major ecological disaster. It's potential, that this is all just a cover-up. Could be. But the thing is, I don't think that they'd be that obvious with it,
And how do we know these are all related? Right, so the UFO sightings, right? They had the jets follow them before. It was 1991, right? The Gulf, the Gulf Stream incident, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, what was it? Gulf of Oman. I think
1991, are you sure? That was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, that's when the first TikTok video came out, right?
Really? Okay.
I think so. You'd have to fact check that. It's in the 90s anyway. And they tried to follow it. And this thing actually jammed radar, which is actually an international act of war.
Really?
So you can't actually...
It was in 2004. November
Oh, was it?
14th, 2004.
Oh.
The USS Nimitz UFO. USS Roosevelt? That was the one with the cameras on the F-18s
Yeah.
filming it. That was 2015. So that was fairly recently. Oh, it's another video. Oh, they're two separate videos.
There's like three. There's like three
Oh,
videos.
so the Tic Tac's been cited multiple times.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So this is what I'm saying, right? So this thing jammed the radar, which is an act of war. So they couldn't hit it then. So why can they suddenly hit it now? Is the interesting part. Like if they could hit it with Sidewinder missiles now, why not then? And as you rightly said, this isn't the first occasion they've seen this TikTok. This is 20 years, 40 years possibly of all sorts of footage.
I suppose you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, right? Going back to these balloons that were like shot down over America or whatever. What's the point? I don't get it.
Of
Point
the
of the
Chinese
balloons, or
surveillance.
point of shooting them down, or like what's
No,
the,
just
what?
this whole. What if say it's an elaborate cover-up? Why? Of what? What's the point?
Well, you don't want people knowing that you've got like a major ecological disaster going on, like the train crash, or you're doing something really sketchy.
But it's on public news sites. It didn't get much coverage to begin with.
I think the bigger thing would be
it's been getting coverage now.
The Americans meddling with the Nord Stream. That would be the bigger news. Because if it got found out that they did that, then the narrative's changed and the Russians are right. So they definitely don't want that getting out.
But it's so obvious.
It is obvious.
I have no we know the Chinese balloon was China because China said it's a civilian balloon. It's flying over airspace. Don't worry about it. And then they got angry when the US shot it down, which is interesting. It had a big satellite on the bottom of it, but definitely a civilian balloon. I love the memes from that, by the way. I just want to say, like the Chinese lantern with a camera stapled to the bottom of it. I think that's hilarious. I can't find any information as to why there are so many UFOs being sighted at the moment, but I heard something online. This is subjecture. I don't know if it's true. That the US have recently updated their radar system, so they're able to see these objects, whereas before they would have missed them. But these objects were sighted by commercial planes as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Roosevelt incident where this Tic Tac object was zooming around allegedly at, Mach 1 speed. That's why you can't hit them, because they were going faster than anything you could, perceive.
Well, they think that it manipulates gravity somehow. If this thing's an actual object.
Yeah.
Because we've not even spoken about if it's paranormal, by the way. Because there's actually links.
Paranormal? Why are we on ghosts?
Well, UFOs are basically, they'd probably be looped in with paranormal stuff, right?
UFOs, technically, by the definition, exist.
Yes.
Is Santa Slay a UFO?
A USO.
Oh, well, as we know,
USO.
Santa is real.
Yeah.
We
as we
covered
know.
that in the second episode of the podcast.
Which you should watch next year.
Yeah, we should clarify. UFO does not mean aliens. UFO means
No,
an
what
object
it
which
means,
is
the definition of UFO of paranormal is it's events that or phenomenon that are deviating from science. So that's the classification, right? So what's to say it's all linked? All the spooky stuff.
We will talk about ghosts next episode.
Yes,
Because I do actually have stories with ghosts. I do actually believe in that, in an element of that. We'll talk about that next time. For now, aliens. Do you remember the history meme with the guy that goes aliens? Aliens.
Yeah.
I am of the sound opinion that these balloons and these objects are not. They are just balloons. I think.
Yeah, I
you would say
think
it's all balloons.
I also agree
These
that it
recent
was just
events.
I just think it's a shitty attempt by China to try and like spy on the US.
The whole so you think
Obviously
the
didn't
whole
work.
thing is Chinese?
But they can just be civilian balloons.
What the weather balloons?
No. So I'll tell you the total is 4 objects now.
Four objects.
Four
One of them is the
yeah.
Chinese, confirmed Chinese spy balloon.
One is 100 billion% Chinese. They've admitted it.
Yeah.
The other 3 are unknown. And the
But
Americans
are they also balloons?
no.
I think they are.
They haven't even recovered the wreckage
Oh.
since it's all frozen over. It's all a lot of it's over Alaska.
Oh. I can't
Yeah.
lie. I think, in my personal expert opinion, by the way, expert,
Mm.
I think they are all just Chinese spy balloons, but they only admitted to one because they only got found out on one.
Well, they
And-
admitted to 2. So there was
So
one
they
in
admit-
South America that
Oh.
didn't get shot down. Yeah.
Oh right, okay. I didn't know about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think if they're flying them everywhere, it's probably just China. I
Well,
can't
it
lie.
makes sense. It was over Montana, and Montana's where they keep the American missile silos.
Right.
So, and the argument is, obviously everyone's got satellites, but China's satellites aren't very good at like being really accurate. So if you put a big balloon there, it can be there stationed and take loads of pictures.
We don't know. All right, but they're unidentified, and the government, if they do know, they've got to like completely make sure before they release any statements. We might find out by the time this video comes out.
Yeah.
we might find out what they are.
Well-
However, yeah, go on.
It is what I say. Right, NASA couldn't get a reusable rocket. Right, they couldn't do it.
Hmm.
Whatever, hundreds of billions of dollars of funding.
Yeah.
SpaceX did it. So a private company somehow achieved something a government-based organization couldn't. So who's to say this isn't a private organization with technology
It could
beyond
be.
our known means?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it could
Yeah.
well be. It could be Amazon,
It
Tesla,
could be.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it could be a SpaceX experiment, but then they would have claimed up to it, and I imagine they need permission before doing it in a civilian airspace.
Mm.
That was the issue, by the way. It was civilian
Yeah.
airspace, and it was flying at the same altitude as planes. However, the USS Roosevelt incident with the Tic Tac, it's a different topic because that distinctly was not a balloon.
No. You saw it.
The videos and that came out and the actual evidence of the people speaking, it's very obvious it was not a balloon.
No.
Whereas the other ones didn't have, they were floating. They didn't have obvious methods of propulsion.
So that's
They
the
sound
issue,
like
isn't it?
balloons.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
this Tic Tac allegedly was erratically moving over the surface of the ocean.
Yeah. And it interacted with the water. It actually interacted with the
Yes,
ocean itself.
apparently so.
Yeah.
Now that is a different topic. That is odd. And I don't really know what to think about it. A YouTuber by the name of Lemino did a great documentary or investigation into it. He did a fantastic video that was really educational, really entertaining. And most of my information comes from there about what I know about it. And I've seen the videos myself. And I've heard what the pilots describe it as.
Nickel 6-1 Tango Roger, over. Roger, there's troubleshooting as soon as I hear. Yeah, on, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
I know Chris has strong opinions on this.
I don't. I think I'm willing to say I don't know a thing, but I think that's what we should all be like because we have no clue what these things are
Okay.
at all.
Yeah.
I don't. As I said, I don't believe aliens are visiting Earth. I think that doesn't make sense.
Mm.
I think that's the most unlikely option.
We'll get into that in
Yeah.
just
That's
a
what they
moment.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they.
They.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a moment. But so with that Tic Tac, a lot of talk about warp drives. Now, let me be clear. I fundamentally do not believe that warp drives exist. And what a warp drive is, if you don't know, it's a type of propulsion that bends space-time around itself.
Bro played No Man's Sky once.
Bro
and now
played
knows-
No Man's Sky, you're right. No, I watched Interstellar, and he gets a piece of paper, and he sticks a pencil through it, and he demonstrates warping. So you fold space-time in half, and you go through it.
So you don't believe in that?
I think that if this object was man-made and it was demonstrating a warp drive, being able to move, erratically in different directions with no obvious means of propulsion, that sounds like a warp drive. However, if we had a warp drive, I guarantee you it would be being used by the military, obviously, as a deterrent to other countries. If the US, China, or Russia possessed this technology, they would be using it to bully other countries into submission.
True.
They did it with nukes. They did it with jet planes. They did it with gunpowder.
They did with hentai.
They did it with hentai. Wait, what? So I don't believe this exists because, and if it was, it would make space travel instantaneous. We could go from one side of the universe to another instantly because it would be traveling at light speed or close to light speed, warp speed. So no, I fundamentally don't believe it's a warp drive, which leads me to the belief that it was some sort of atmospheric disturbance.
But that's not the only theoretical mode of transport. In regards to like gravitational waves, there's all them forms. Theoretically, right?
Have aliens ever visited Earth?
I mean, E.T.
E.T. Yeah, that's true. That's a factual
Yeah.
film.
There's
I really
force.
enjoyed that documentary.
I'd say I don't know how you could prove it either way. I don't know.
So
I
you
don't have
don't
a strong
think they've
opinion, no.
ever, like, you don't think there's an alien species like observing us?
The problem is there's nothing special about Earth. There's
I think
not.
we're kind of special.
If
I
anything,
mean-
we're the most interesting thing on Earth.
We have TikTok.
But
they don't have
true.
TikTok.
But that's why you'd kill us. You'd wipe us out before that.
Oh, that's true.
To be honest,
yeah.
mate.
Imagine
Yeah.
aliens scan the competence of Earth, like a competence of humanity based off of like the internet and TikTok. We'd be done. We'd be wiped out in seconds.
Literally, like a 3-second attention span on
Yeah.
those TikTok videos.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that
Well-
aliens are observing us.
As I said, like if aliens exist and they've been visiting Earth, then Earth's no longer special. Because if aliens exist, that means they're everywhere. That means life is. It's so intrinsic to the universe that we're not special anymore.
You
And
don't
all
think
this
so?
planet is water. Yeah.
You don't think there'd be like some sort of big like galactic like empire that would be looking at new worlds to conquer and exploit for natural resources or something?
Well, no, the Fermi paradox. We look up at the sky and we
Okay,
see
I'm
nothing.
glad you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, we hear, we see, we experience nothing. The closest we got was the wow signal. I think
Yeah.
it was 19.
What's the fairy paradox?
The Fermi paradox. So the universe mathematically should be teeming with life, like civilizations everywhere, because the probability is just ridiculously high. But yet we put our ear to the sky and we hear nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the Fermi paradox.
There are several explanations for that.
There's a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the first one is the universe is big.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, space is pretty big. There's a lot of space in space.
Pretty large.
For us to observe our nearest planet, like for us to look at a planet and observe it, I think our nearest exoplanet.
It's Proxima Centauri.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's it. That's
yeah.
the one.
Proxima Centauri.
I
is
just
our-
typed on nearest planet and it said Mercury.
That's wrong.
That's completely wrong. Here.
That's
What?
wrong.
It's Mars.
It's Venus and Mars. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the third. So the universe is big, and for us to look at what was it, Proxima Centauri?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for us to look at Proxima Centauri, it's 42 light years away.
Alpha
hang
Centauri
on.
is 4.3 light years away.
Yeah. I was just.
Oh,
about to say,
sorry.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
4.2,
Yeah.
42. Yeah, got it.
And it's getting closer every year, by the way.
Oh,
Getting closer
yeah.
every
Hell
year.
yeah.
It's almost
Rapidly
here, actually,
approaching our
yeah.
location.
Next next
Rapidly
year we'll be able to
approaching.
knock on the front door. 4.2 light years. It's a considerable distance. For us to look at that star system and see if there's any life on it or any signs of civilization, we would be inherently looking at them thousands of years ago
Is
because-
Yeah.
because
Sorry,
of how long
it-
light takes to travel.
Yeah.
is Alpha Centauri, is that a planet or a system?
It's a star.
They think
It's
it's
a
a
star.
trinary. They
Oh,
think it's a
okay.
trinary star system. They think there's two sort of big suns and
Yes.
then one smaller one.
And then
yeah.
there's
That's cool.
there's one red dwarf.
yeah,
And
yeah,
have
yeah.
they observed any Earth-like planets?
They yeah.
Four.
There's a few.
That's
at
pretty
least.
cool.
They're
That's kind of cool.
They're not Earth-like. They're
No.
exoplanets. So they live
Yeah.
in the habitable zone and they orbit the star. And
Well, the James Webb Telescope is going to analyze the atmospheres.
yes, the
hopefully
James
at
Webb
some point,
Webb Telescope is observing them to see if they could be habitable or if there could be life on them.
Yeah.
But we look to it, and if we're observing it through a telescope, we're going to see the planet as it was thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
The odds of life observing us currently are zero in basic terms because they can't. They would have to be close to us to be able to observe us. So close that they're closer than our last star system, than our nearest star system. And just fundamentally, the distance between us and the time it takes to travel, we will never be able to interact with other species. It leads to a Dune type universe where humans are the aliens and we colonize the whole universe. But then it comes to this scientific theory that each civilization that has ever existed reaches a certain extinction point.
Oh, it's like the
Yes.
great the
And
great filter. That's it,
Yes,
sorry.
that's it. And we don't know where that is.
No.
We don't know if we've reached it
Mm.
or if we are about to reach it or if we surpassed it.
Mhm.
It could be climate change or it could be nuclear destruction, but it's theorized that every single universe reaches this barrier
Yes.
and not a single species has yet to pass it yet.
Yeah.
Because if
Oh.
they do, they get to colonize the whole universe. They get to be the first.
The thing is radio waves. That's the big one. So
How so?
we live in an era of radio waves, which the frequency, the bandwidth in which we communicate is all radio waves. We don't know how short or wide this period is that we live in. Like, are we going to have something else to communicate? Now, there's a nice image here, and it shows you human pollution in our galaxy, and it's only that's a diameter of 2. If you show this in the podcast, this is a diameter of 200 light years. Look how small that is in the scope of the galaxy. So an alien would have to be within that range to even hear us.
Yeah,
That's insane.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that isn't even clear radio signals. That's just background. That's just something that sounds different to cosmic background radiation, which is just fuzz. And that is what the WOW signal was, wasn't it? It was a quasar emitting signals that we picked up on, and we thought
we don't know exactly what it is.
Well, no, we don't know.
Whereabouts in that yellow dot is Ohio? I've just been reading about the Oort belt, which is the Oort cloud. Sorry, which is quite cool. I didn't know about this.
Yeah, that's insane. They think there's a 10th planet in there.
Wait, what's this?
Really?
Oh, is this?
Yeah.
It's like a cloud that surrounds our solar system.
9th planet even.
Well, I buy into the conspiracy.
No, Pluto is a planet.
No,
Everyone,
Pluto is a planet. I like Pluto.
Hashtag Pluto is a planet in the comments.
I do believe that there is a planet X in
I
this solar
stand
system.
with Pluto.
there's actually evidence now.
Well,
There
it's flaky at best, the evidence.
It is flaky, but there's evidence.
It's incredible how hard it is to detect planets in our own solar system,
Yeah.
let alone planets in other solar systems. The thing is, when we observe a planet in another solar system, we don't actually observe the planet. We observe the shadow it makes on the sun as it orbits it. So there are, our nearest star, we observe it and we go, okay, the light level dipped a little bit there. That's an object that just flew past it.
Yeah.
So it's probably a planet. In our own solar system, we theorize that there could be another planet orbiting at an irregular orbit to the rest of the planets. And we know we theorize this because of the gravitational pull it would have on the surrounding planets in our solar system. Some asteroids are tilted the wrong way. Most asteroids are horizontal to the sun. But some asteroids are tilted the other way, as if there's another gravitational force acting on the outside of the solar system, pulling them in a different direction.
To be fair, though, right? Against that, there's a counter to that, right? You don't need to necessarily see it. You can mathematically calculate it, because Neptune was never seen.
No, that's true.
Yeah, Neptune was calculated mathematically, and then they found it.
Which
so
is
you could do the same.
the last planet in our solar system, if you're not counting Pluto.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we are, so.
But we are, okay.
Yeah.
So back to aliens.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, there could be aliens in our own solar system for all we know. We could have more planets, but it's outside the habitable zone. So life as we know it cannot live outside of the inhabitable zone. Doesn't mean it's impossible for it to live, but it means that it would not be carbon-based. And that in itself is pretty mind-blowing. It's like
Why would it
seeing
not be carbon-based?
because carbon-based life needs warmth to live.
Yeah.
Silicon-based life doesn't necessarily need warmth to live. Well, we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know.
We don't even know where DNA comes from. We haven't got a clue.
Diesel, you seem like the kind of person that would know what DNA stands for.
Yes, actually, I do. It's deoxyribonucleic acid. That's it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Should have. I was the chemist. Guys.
Was.
Okay.
Was,
I
yeah.
am the chemist. So yeah, the Fermi paradox is pretty big, and the civilizations are graded in theory on their types. We are a Type 1 civilization.
I don't think we've reached that. I don't even think we're Type 1 yet.
Type 1 civilization has access to all the energy available on its planet and store it for consumption.
So like volcanoes, the weather.
Oh,
we don't.
Oh
have that.
right, yeah. I suppose
Yeah.
no, yeah. I suppose we're not
Not
quite.
even that.
We're almost like we're pretty much there.
Bro,
Type
how are we about to invent a type and then not even be that type? What the fuck?
yeah, for real.
Yeah, like what the hell?
We do. Well, we do have. We do siphon energy from ground source and
Yeah.
such.
I think we harvest less than 1% of the energy from the sun.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. A Type 2 civilization consumes energy directly from its star or another star.
But we do that.
And a Type
we probably
3
do that.
a Type 3 civilization is able to capture all the energy emitted in its galaxy.
That's
But
impossible.
can you imagine? A massive Dyson.
No, but that's literally impossible though, because it would not even be possible to capture by the definition of the word all.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We wouldn't be possible because we'd have to surround the sun in solar panels, and then
Yeah.
Well,
we
it's
would
called the
have no
Dyson
light.
sphere.
It's called the what?
It's a thing, a project. Well, they think it's a projected thing. That it's called the Dyson sphere, and they actually look for it. Telescopes
What?
look for that.
Well,
They-
what
they
is
can
this
put-
though? Tell
So
what is
it's what you've
what's the
just said.
context?
It's basically they completely surround the entirety of the sun
Yeah.
in a futuristic solar panel, which is 100%. It's more efficient than plants. Actually,
Right.
yeah.
It's,
Fuck that.
yeah, it's effectively a megastructure that envelops a star and
Yeah.
captures all of the star's energy and
Mhm.
transmits
Yeah.
it wirelessly.
But you'd need to completely ruin a planet. You'd have to destroy Mercury to build it and use all its resources.
I think we could bin off Mercury. let's
Yeah,
be
who
honest.
cares about Mercury? It's
Spin off
terrible.
Pluto.
Oh yeah.
No,
get rid of
fuck
Pluto.
you.
Yeah, we do look for Dyson spheres, and every so often you get a headline saying, "Oh, Dyson sphere discovered because the sun is dimming irregularly," and they treat that as evidence to say a civilization lived there or lived there.
That's your hydrogen gas or something.
And finally, for the Fermi paradox, is the universe is old, really old. If you don't
Yeah.
take into account distances between traveling and the fact that space is ever expanding, well, James Webb is to put that into question, but in theory, it's ever expanding, so we will never actually be able to reach very
But
far.
what into? That's the question.
That's always been the question for me.
Yeah.
What is it expanding into?
Yeah, space.
It's the final frontier.
But yeah, James Webb has thrown that into question whether the universe is expanding or not. But I'm not qualified to talk on that. The final thing with the Fermi paradox is the universe is old, and it's so old that the probability of us being alive at the same time as another civilization is next to nothing. You know, like the universe is. Well, I can't even put into terms how old it is, but you can't have. Like the odds of two civilizations existing at the same time alone, two species like evolving at the same time, is just incredibly thin.
You know, they say the universe is too young. There's also that argument that we're one of the first on the block.
Yeah,
And
we
we're
could
in-
be the first, or we're not
Yeah.
the last. We know we're not the last. The last civilization, they might not see any other stars except their own. They might just look
Yeah.
up to an empty sky, which
But
in
the
itself
problem
is
is
very scary.
The genesis of life, we don't know it, so we can't answer any of this.
Well, that's
we don't
the
know
thing.
where life came from.
Because I'm Christian, I can answer, are there aliens?
We'll have to baptize the aliens.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Because I'm Christian, fundamentally, Christianity says there cannot be any other sentient life in the universe. That is because God sent his only son to die for the sins of mankind as the ultimate sacrifice to absolve us of sins. If aliens existed as sentient life, therefore, they would have to be perfect and without sin. They would have to be God's perfect creation, which has already been said that we are the perfect creation. So
That's a bit.
he
lame.
doesn't have another son to die for them. And if that was the case, then clearly he doesn't love them, therefore he's not all loving, therefore God is not God. So by definition of Christianity, alien life, as sentient life, does not exist. Animals could, fish could, birds could. Non-sentient life absolutely could exist, same way animals do here. Bacteria, in fact, I'm of no question that bacteria could exist somewhere else. The likelihood is just astonishing. It's so likely. It's likely that even in our solar system there's life.
Yeah, like Europa or something.
But
Well,
weren't
I
they
mean, just
looking at
Jupiter.
one of the moons of Jupiter?
Yeah.
Yeah, Europa.
Yeah,
That's it.
Io as well.
Yeah.
Ohio. I
Yep.
mean,
Ohio moon.
Diesel, do you think there are any sentient life in the universe ever? Like, do you think there could be a
Yeah,
possibility?
almost definitely. Once
Really?
again, I think if there's life here, why just here? Why just here? I read one time in like some fucking science museum ages ago that the reason Earth has water is because a massive fucking like ice crystal collided with the Earth like back when the Earth was still being formed. So where'd the rest of the ice go?
I mean, yeah, the
Became liberal
creation of Earth is weird, isn't it? Like, why are we the only planet in our solar system to have liquid water?
Well,
Or to
Mars
have
did.
water?
Mars
That's
did.
true, actually.
Mars had oceans. That's a
Yeah.
fact at
Yeah.
this point. Yeah.
Like, everything conglomerating into planets is so weird. Like, you
Yeah.
have all these elements floating around, and they all crash into each other and become planets. So surely all the planets in a solar system should be the same composition. They should all
Yeah,
have the
that's
same
true.
elements, right? So how can we
Not
not?
necessarily.
Because there's
know.
denser patches. So
Yeah.
even if the density's slightly off, that will end up bigger, and that might get flung out. They think the sun had more orbital planets around it, but most have been flung out.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Also, there's an ocean under the surface of Pluto, but it's like
Well,
liquid ammonia or something.
Yeah.
They think.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know
got a big
if
heart on it.
I don't
Have you
know
seen
if
it?
water exists in any state in our solar system.
In the solar system, no. In the rest of the universe, almost.
Oh, it
certainly.
has to
In
be
fact,
such a basic
in fact, I will
element.
say it does.
Repeat that.
Like,
Repeat that.
I
Sorry?
don't know if any water exists in our solar system.
Like liquid.
No, in any state.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't believe that there's ice on any other planet except ours.
There's moons made of ice.
In our solar system.
Yeah.
Where?
Enceladus. Yeah. The ice moon. It's literally an ice moon.
Hang
It's
on.
made of like 70% water ice or something like that.
Sixth
And
largest
it's
moon
made
of
of-
Saturn.
It's made of ice.
Mostly covered by fresh, clean ice. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh yeah.
So there
Yeah.
is water.
H2O is one of the. I think it's like the third common element in the
Well,
universe.
hydrogen is the most common element.
Yeah,
Hydrogen and helium, isn't it?
Hydrogen and helium. Yeah, so oxygen, like the combination of oxygen and hydrogen, is one of the most common elements on the compounds on the.
Did
the
you know
universe.
that the Earth, they theorize that the Earth is going to be completely depleted of helium by 2040?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It can escape
Mhm.
the atmosphere.
Surely they just make some more.
Can they do that yet?
No.
Didn't they have a massive breakthrough in nuclear fusion recently?
Fission, isn't it?
I don't know which one it was.
Fission is splitting, fusion is joining.
No, but I don't know which one.
Oh
it
yeah, I
was.
don't know what you'd use to create.
Well, you'd fuse two hydrogen.
You need a sun. You need a sun for starters.
Well, we can make fusion on Earth.
I don't think we can.
We sustain so fusion reactors have sustained plasma for a limited time now. So
That's
No, it was
plasma.
fusion. It was fusion. Yeah, they were making. They were turning deuterium and tritium into helium. That's exactly what they were doing.
Oh yeah, with 192 lasers. Yeah, but was that stable? I don't think it was stable at all, right?
I think it was. I don't know.
Because they still think
Apparently-
it's decades away.
apparently, a nuclear fusion reactor sustained energy for 5 seconds,
Yeah, so
which is quite a big deal. That's pretty big. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but nuclear fusion is the answer to all of the Earth's energy needs. And it's
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
we had
it is.
fusion, it's unlimited clean energy. You're literally harnessing the power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
But you're also harnessing the power of the sun with solar and wind. So
That's true. We could just be renewable and actually do stuff which benefit the planet, and then we
Yeah.
can actually, focus our efforts to space travel and go and become the aliens, which we're so obsessed with.
that's why I like Avatar. We're the aliens. It's so
hell
cool.
yeah!
All
I
right.
still haven't seen Avatar 2, but I
All
need
right.
to see it.
I want to
too.
say something that I think is so funny. I saw it on TikTok and I thought it was brilliant. So someone was like, "What did the humans actually do wrong in Avatar?" And I love the concept of space racism. I
Would
think
we care?
I
Would
think
we
the
care?
idea of the only thing that could unite humanity is being racist towards aliens is
Yeah.
so funny. Like if we
Yeah.
encountered aliens, we would be so obscenely prejudiced towards them that everyone would unite in hating aliens.
Racism would be dead. It would be
Yeah.
dead
And
completely.
it would just be human supremacy. I think that's one of
alien
the
scum.
funniest concepts, and I fully support it. I'm a space racist. I'm going to tell you that now.
Yeah.
Fuck aliens, man.
I don't care about some big blue giants. I don't care if their spiritual tree is gonna get knocked down.
Little
I don't give a
green men. What even are they? Yeah, I like that idea. Oh, that's a point. There is also the thing that if we encounter an alien, we fundamentally will not be able to communicate because everything's different.
What was the film? I'm sorry to interrupt. What was
No.
the film with the two aliens in like a massive space monolith that they were trying to communicate to, and there was this woman that was like teaching them language through like signs or something. What was the film?
I have never heard of that.
Is it a cartoon?
No, it was a fucking film. Film about talking to aliens. Carry on, I'll find it.
So yeah, I mean the communication issue between us and aliens is quite big. Like
I found it.
If you were to say to an alien, try and direct them to Earth.
So you want to take a left, keep going for about 200,000 miles. And then,
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you say, like, take a left at Sagittarius B, they could be upside down. Their left is right.
That's true.
They have no orientation. So, and also, they could be completely different in proportions. They could count with different symbols. They might not even be able to speak. They might use telepathy.
Have you not seen the Voyager probe? The communication?
Yes. Yeah, and the disc they put on the Voyager probe is what they think would be a crucial way for aliens to understand humanity's communication. Because the fundamental principle is that mathematics is universally the same, despite using different calculations. Despite using different like numbers. Every civilization will calculate maths and arrive at the same answer. And so using mathematics, you could in theory communicate. Which means I'm probably dead if an alien interrogates me. It'll be like, what's 1 + 1? I'll be like,
Dyslexia.
I'm not really a math guy. Go on, Diesel. What was your film?
It's called Arrival.
Okay, and what happens? What's it about?
So basically, let me get the synopsis up. There's a question here saying, is it a true story? Bro, Jeremy Renner was in it.
It's a true story.
Yeah, so basically,
we better not be the smartest things in the universe.
It was basically, there was gigantic spaceships touched down at 12 locations around the world, causing global tensions. A woman and Jeremy Renner find a way to communicate with the extraterrestrial visitors.
Okay.
Blah blah blah.
Have you ever seen Mars Attacks?
No, I haven't.
Mars Attacks is a phenomenal film where Martians come to Earth and they come down and everyone's like, yay, Martians! And they're all like welcoming and they're like, love is love, peace to the Martians. And the Martians come out and they just start obliterating everyone. And it is the funniest film. In the end, spoilers, they're all killed by yodeling. The frequency of yodeling melts their brains.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah,
it's one of the funniest films, and I recommend it. But yeah, like if we encountered aliens, because we can't communicate, we don't know. Like, are they hostile? Are we hostile? Are they going to attack us? Well, if they're going to attack us, we got to attack them first.
But why would they need to encounter us? That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of people that think the aliens use us for like social experiments and like observation. Like we're like a big zoo, you know? The Earth. If
they're from, because they'd have to be from another solar system. They'd have to be. There's no other planet that we know of in our solar system, at least, right? So if they have the capability of getting to us with all the heavy equipments, with hundreds of generations, maybe thousands of generations of aliens, they're going to be so sophisticated they have no use for stupid humans, right?
Yeah, or slaves. They might want slaves.
But why would they need slaves?
Sex.
Okay, maybe it is down to
human
that.
Sex.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Shit's pog. It's just like if aliens encounter us, it's like, are they peaceful? We don't know. Are they going to attack us? We don't know. So we should probably attack them first before they can attack us.
Could they beat Minecraft speedrun record? Who knows?
Yeah. It's the issue that if we ever encounter aliens, the common theory is we're just going to shoot them out of the sky.
Yeah.
And it's going to start a war because we just don't know. We don't know if they're going to attack us.
It's like
aliens
versus aliens, isn't it?
Yeah, or aliens knowing that we're going to attack them, they'll just immediately, as soon as they see us, just obliterate us. Eliminate the competition, then occupy Earth. Fundamentally, it all comes down to just hunter aggression. You don't know if you're in a forest on your own and you encounter another hunter, are they friendly? Are they hostile? Are they going to attack you for your food? Are you going to kill them? You know, do you attack first, or do you? And the fundamental thing is, in all accounts, in all animal and human behavior, it results in attacking.
I'm glad we have world leaders like Joe Biden supporting us through
Yeah,
potentially
exactly.
alien nations.
Rishi Sunak will support us through these hardships. We won't need to think about these things.
You're right.
But yeah, you look at it through dominant species. Immediately, a species encounters another one, kills it. You look at it in humans, in the whole of human history. Romans come over to England. The Celts attack them. Romans attack them. It's just common. If we see aliens, we'll kill them.
But for like, if we like look at ants are cool, and they have basically their own civilization.
Nah,
and
fuck ants.
Oh, we got an ant
don't
hater
say
here,
that. They'll
bro.
kill you.
Fuck
real.
ants.
We have an
There's a lot of
ant
ants, you
hater in the
know.
lobby.
No one likes ants, bro.
I love ants.
Wasps and ants can both fucking
Nah,
do
wasps
one,
are
bro.
so important.
Ants
they're
are
not.
important.
They're like
Bro,
the
are you
biggest
a wasp in
pollinators.
disguise?
Bro.
Did a wasp write that? Did a wasp write that?
Pupates in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm actually just an ant with a wig.
Oh, man, I knew something was off about you.
Yeah,
I
it
knew
was the
something.
pincers, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the stinger.
But yeah, so yeah, I know what you mean with ants. Like colonies of ants will fight each other and wage wars. And I mean, dogs will encounter each other and attack each other. They're the
What I
same
was saying
species.
was, ants are cool, but we give them no attention. We get some weirdos who are obsessed with ants,
I
right?
see what
Now
you
and
mean.
again.
Yeah, like you.
Exactly.
I
But
see
so
what
an
you mean.
alien would look at us and go, ants, who cares? You honestly care. Leave them alone. That's how I'd see it.
Well, when I play No Man's Sky, I just go and explore a planet for the credits you get when you scan stuff. So maybe the aliens would come down, scan us, document us, and leave.
The side quest.
To be honest, they would probably just sit unobserved and just watch us and research us. I don't think they would have any need. They might want our natural resources, but if they've explored Earth, they have access to like resources across the
Everywhere.
entire universe.
Yeah.
Why would they want to challenge? Why would they want to challenge a civilization that could launch a potentially orbital rocket? You know,
Exactly.
why would they
That's what I
risk it? They would just go, "Oh, there's people there. Watch out for them. Leave them alone. Keep them observed. Make sure they don't enter space."
Yeah.
And space travel in itself, unlikely.
We could
The-
be a safari.
Yeah.
We're like a no-go zone. We're like just barriers.
There's a lot of theories that we will never be able to leave the solar system because of the massive amount of radiation outside of the magnetic field of our solar system and the Earth. A lot of people think that just going past the moon will be exposed to enough radiation to kill us because there's no.
They call that, the Van Allen belt. They call that.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's been disproved mostly.
oh, has it? Oh,
Well, only because like it's in certain areas it's really high, and in other areas it's not that high.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Y'all ever just go outside and just ignore the fact that the universe doesn't matter? Do you ever think about it? Right, all this talking.
How often do you think about the universe?
We're never
lot.
gonna see anything cool happen in the universe.
No.
So why even bother about it, bro? Go downstairs,
Touch
make
grass.
some pancakes. It's pancake day, bro.
It is.
Touch grass.
Listen to another podcast episode. Go watch
Yeah.
my channel. Or
Binge
Banter's,
watch
or
the
Chris's, but-
Hyperthetical podcast and
Yeah.
then look at all our channels for our excellent individual comedy
Yeah.
rights and humor.
Mm. And
Give us money.
observe how I carry the humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do any of you actually think about space? Like, do you ever like on
A
a,
lot.
just really?
No.
I remember as a kid, you know, everyone has this like, oh, I'm conscious now. They have this moment where like,
Yeah.
oh,
Right.
I'm suddenly aware.
I've never
I
had that.
remember.
I'm yet
Well,
to
you
have
must
it.
have.
I'm yet
I
to.
thought it was 9/11.
To be fair, I do
know that.
remember 9/11, so maybe that was the moment.
Well, I remember being in the garden, looking up at the sky, going, "Fucking hell, that's big!" Like just looking like, "What the hell? What's up there?" I remember being like age like 4 or 5, like what on earth? And then
This-
I remember everything.
This really reflects our personalities. You
Have
know?
I told you about my first living memory, like of consciousness?
No.
My
You said it was
first
like when you were
I have.
born.
No.
No.
My first memory I have of like dawning into consciousness is I was like 3 years old or something, and I was trying on like a nappy over the top of my clothes.
That is your
Because
first memory.
I thought it was funny or something. Yeah.
That's
That is funny.
interesting. My first memory is it is 9/11. It's so depressing, but it is.
What the
Hmm.
hell?
I know. I was 3. God, I'm old. But yeah, I remember it because my nan was like switched over my cartoons, and she put on the news. I was like, oh, I
My
hate the news. And then she's like, oh my god!" And she starts like crying. And you know when like you're a child and you see like an adult figure like in distress,
Yeah.
that's really like permeable. And I think that's why I remember it so much. I think that's why I have it as my first memory. Anyway, I think that's about as much we can talk about for aliens. If we want to talk more about 9/11 and conspiracy theories, tune in next episode because we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. It's going to be great fun. I would like to leave you all with my favorite space quote. It comes from Red Dwarf. They're flying through deep space in their spaceship, and after 3 million years of empty space, they suddenly run into a black hole. Not only one black hole, 3 black holes. And so they go, how the fuck have we run into 3 black holes in the middle of nowhere deep space? And the ship's computer turns around and go, well, you see, the thing about space, your general space color, is it's black. And the thing about black holes, the average black hole color, is it's black. So it's pretty fucking hard to see them. That is my favorite space quote, and I'm going to leave you with that and say, if you're an alien watching this, what's up, homie? Do you want to chill? Do you want to come on the podcast? Have you got any hypotheticals?
Yeah.
So, thank you for watching, everyone. We are on Spotify if you want to watch on the go, and we're on YouTube. We upload videos. We try to upload regular podcasts, and we're going to try and start live streaming all of the little topics that don't make it into full episodes. So, it's goodbye from me, Banter, and goodbye from...
It's goodbye from me, Diesel. Before we go, I want to get a hashtag pay Diesel trending in the comments because Chris still has not paid a certain someone for the subscription service that we use to host this podcast on Spotify. So...
And I would like to say, if anyone in the comments wants to donate to me so I can pay for Diesel subscription service, go ahead.
So that's a goodbye from Chris, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.